All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What's up, family? What's going on? The time now is 5:04 on Monday, April the 26th, 2021. I am sitting in and I'm filling in big shoes for my main man, Nick. And this is T Sham and my man, Mike Nice. We got a
Folks,
good show for you
what's up?
today.
Make sure everybody
We got a
sees it.
really, We got a really good show for you today. We're going to talk about the Knicks, the red hot New York Knicks. We're going to talk about our Yankees. Did you see that fight, Mike, on Saturday?
You know I did.
Usman and
All of them.
Masvidal. Yes,
All of
sir.
them. Woo, boy, we got a strong stomach.
Yes, sir. We're going to talk about Kevin Durant coming back. We're going to talk about the Sixers. We want to hear from them Sixer fans. Are you worried because they've lost 4 in a row? And then we're going to talk about the Lakers. The Lakers owner named her 5 top Lakers. And the news is that Shaq and Jerry West won on there. So let's go. Let's make it happen, Mike Nice. Here we go. All right, all right. Family, so good to be here with you today. I'm honored to fill in for my man. I'm filling in big shoes for my man, Nick, and just honored to be here with my man, Mike Nice. My brother, how was your day?
My man, it was good. I mean, not bad for a Monday, man. I work with a program where young people can get their GED. And today we got our first batch of youngsters that attained the entire GED, passing all 4 parts. So I'm very happy for them. Looking at faces are priceless. And we got more on the menu, man. That just all the fields, as they would say. How about yourself?
Yes, sir.
Yourself.
Oh, it was awesome, man. It was awesome. The weather is starting to get up nice, really nice up here in the north. And man, super excited. We got a couple of 80-degree days. I know you guys have been experiencing 80 degrees already. So we got those coming, right? So we're super excited. But before before diving into how was your day today, I meant to ask you, man, how was the weekend? You spent some time with your son, didn't you?
Man, I had a great weekend. And speaking of my man, we went to the USC Gamecock spring game. And just sat in the stands and I watched him. I was just basically looking at him and watching him look at what he's going to be doing in the future, man. And every blue moon I'd egg him on and say, hey, man, can you see yourself out there? Can you see yourself doing some work? And he would just nod, but very focused, man. Laser beam focused, watching every play, the QB, the running backs, the wide receivers, offense or defense, and just taking a lot of mental note, man. And he ready to rock. It was 83 degrees in that stadium, not a bit of shade. Wore me clean out. I'm still drinking water and Gatorade from yesterday.
Wow!
But that was a great part of my weekend, man. And how was yours?
My weekend was good, Mike. I got a chance, of course, to spend the week with my 86-year-old mom. I took her back to New York. Yep. And when I took her back to New York, man, guess what? Your boy got caught in that traffic for the DMX.
Oh no!
Memorial
But it had to feel good. It had to feel good, though.
So good, but I didn't know what was going on. So I called myself trying to go the back way, cut some time or whatever. I'm going down to BQE, and I'm like, what's going on with this traffic? Everything was cut off, Flatbush Avenue, everything was cut off, and found out what happened essentially was they weren't letting people drive back down Flatbush Avenue towards the Barclays Center where they were having the event.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And so if you can imagine, if Brooklyn was a pie, basically half the pie was cut off in terms of traffic. So you can imagine what it was going to do for the other things, man. So it was crazy. But, all in all, got her back safe and sound, man, and was able to to get back and get back down
Beautiful.
here. So it's all good. So it's all good. All good, my brother. All good. All right, man. You ready to do this thing?
Let's rock and roll, man. What's up?
All right. So kicking off today, we're going to kick off with Keith Ellison. And Mike and I had a pretty interesting conversation about Mr. Ellison. Mike, what's your take on our honoree for today?
Well, first of all, man, I give this brother props. 30th Attorney General of Minnesota. This dude has 3 brothers, man, that are lawyers and one is a doctor. So everybody in his family is all about intelligence, man. He put together a team for this trial, and I'll just get into the meat and potatoes of it, man, because me and T talked, and as I said, his statement about feeling bad. There's nothing I could say that wouldn't get me fined on, FAA or my job, So I'm just gonna do it like this. I will say that I guess when you're in that capacity and you see the ins and outs of whatever, at some point in time, you might feel a certain way for whomever's involved. I don't get it, but I understand the capacity. And, it was a high profile case. And, a verdict was put down a few days ago. And we got to deal with it. So I'll the ball's in your court, T. I'm going to remain in a decent mental stable state. not going hard in the paint on that, man. Just as and I'll be upfront, just being a black man in America, and when you see what's going on around the world, it's hard to feel for certain people because that feeling is not reciprocated. And that's all I have on that issue. And we talk about minor stuff, There's a guy that stole 75 cents worth of bread in 1982. He's still in prison. So you look at stuff like that, and when the odds are not even, and all the things that's going wrong, and I guess you can't put all that on that particular case, and I do get it. But the brother felt a certain way afterwards, but he put a lot of work in there to make it happen. And I guess, if I can say Les Miserables, I don't know if anybody's ever seen that before. It's a show where this guy spends the entire movie after a guy. He finally gets him. And what happens at the very end will just take you to another world, because he spent his last dying moment trying to convict this guy and get him and take everything away from him, even after this guy had reinvented himself, been an outstanding citizen, man, in the community, got his respect back. This one guy did everything he could to go get him. Now, I'm not trying to say that's what happened in this case. It's the going after someone and you finally get him. The chase was bigger than the catch. And I think that's what Keith went through, Keith Ellison. I think that's what he went through, and I get it. But it's about that journey. It's about that chase, So,
yeah.
It is what it is. He felt that way, and, I understand him.
Yep. So Keith Maurice Ellison, 57 years old, the 30th Attorney General of Minnesota. And I think it's interesting, Mike, when you talk about like certain things happen, certain events happen, and how that impacts someone's destiny. So I remember when he was actually running to be the Democratic Party chairman. And he ran for that office, or for that position, rather. And that's a being the deputy chair of, or being the chair of the Democratic National Committee is a huge responsibility. When you think about fundraising, helping to set strategy for the party, I mean, it's a big position, and he didn't get that position, and he was favored by a lot of the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. Tom Perez actually wound up winning and selected him as the deputy chair, which was a nice nod to him. But if he had won that position, there's no telling where that could have catapulted him and moved him in a direction that moved him out of the area that he wound up being in, which was to run for attorney general for the state of Minnesota. And him being in that position was such a strategic and important thing, because when this case first went down, you may recall, they weren't going to, the local prosecutor wasn't necessarily going to press charges. And remember, they were tearing Minneapolis apart. The governor came in and said, I want you to take this case, and gave him, the liberty and the room to go and do it. And man, if that brother hadn't been in there and done that, I don't think you would have had the first ever conviction of a police officer for second degree assault in the state of Minnesota, man. So he put together an outstanding team. He really delivered against the talent. And I want to play this clip, Mike, and then let's have some comments.
And late today, Minnesota's Attorney General Keith Ellison spoke with Scott Pelley for 60 Minutes about why history made him nervous about whether they would get a conviction.
Was there ever a time that you thought you could lose this case?
I was never convinced we were going to win this case until we heard the verdicts of guilty. I remember what happened in the Rodney King case, and I remember how devastated I felt when I heard that the jury acquitted those officers, particularly when the victim is a person of color. It's just rare that there's any accountability. Every moment of this case, I thought, what are we missing? Do we need another witness? I was not sure that we were going to get the just result that we did get until I heard Judge Cahill announce the verdict.
Well, Scott Pelley's interview with Keith Ellison will air this Sunday on 60 Minutes.
So I tell you, it's was the audio good on that mic? Can you hear that?
Oh yeah, excellent.
I think, when you look at that situation, man, and you look at that and what he had to deal with, what he had to pull together, it was a tall task, man. And he got it done, and it was something else, man. So what's your final thoughts on that, Mike? Well,
he mentioned it. When you look back at the other cases, and even he was shocked. He did a job that he didn't think the outcome would be, as it went. And I understand that, because, sometimes we can look right at something and see the same thing, but other people will be like, well, no, that's he was still resisting. I know he got hit 61 times with a baton all over his body, but there was still movement. He never would comply. And we know what it is, man. Sometimes you go into a defense. Nobody trying to get hit with a nightstick. That thing mixed with oak and twisted with a steel beam inside of it. So that brings a lot of pain. Yeah, it's amazing that Rodney King even lived after that, man.
That's something else, Mike. It really is.
It was amazing, and that was the first video footage, of such acts. So, I understand Mr. Ellison, man, a very powerful brother, man, has wrote several books, as you said, and I like how he bounced back. Maybe you didn't get that position, but then, you were asked to do that. University of Minnesota Law, Wayne State University. His books are My Country, 'Tis of Thee, My Faith, My Family, Our Future. So, he's also an author, man, and he got about 3 or 4 children, man. So I know he understands.
But what's interesting, Mike? What's also interesting, and not that this should be a big deal, but he's actually practices the Muslim faith as well too.
Okay.
And to be upright and upfront with that, which he definitely should be. But it just shows you the great representation and the fabric of this country, and a country that, of course, my brother, you and Nick have served and defended, and that's what it's all about at the end, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Kudos to my man. Sometimes, just the reality of this, you might feel a certain way after, a accomplishment of that magnitude and the ramifications that come with it.
Mm-hmm. All right, my brother, you ready to chop it up, man?
Let's get it.
Interesting, very, very interesting sports weekend. Wow. Now, Mike, I'm not a UFC fan, but I tuned into it because this was a topic on Friday. And my brother, I am so glad that I did. So before I turn it over to you, why don't we just take a quick look at this?
It really does not get any cleaner than this.
Yeah, Coach kept yelling.
Mike, I mean, brother, when you saw that, now Mike, we were texting each other back and forth social media, right? Because what happened, I forgot it was on. And then when I saw your piece saying, hey, it's on, I went to the pay-per-view, right?
There it is.
And Mike, like a minute in, I saw that, bro. And I just was like,
Just
lights out, bro. So tell me, Mike, what did you think when you saw that, bro? Woo-hoo-hoo. Keep it clean.
what I saw, first of all, I'm loving the super slow-mo, man. Big props on that. You saw a work of art. First of all, Masvidal got a little bit too comfortable, a little too cocky against a fighter of that magnitude. And I think he was using his last experience to bring into the ring this time. Oh, I took the fight on 6 days' notice. I was 20 pounds overweight. I lasted all the rounds. He stomped on my feet. He gave it to me a little bit. The earlier rounds when he took those pieces was hurting him. I was trying to explain to my son, when you drop your hands and you show off a little bit and give it to him, sooner or later, you're going to get stuck with that. And by the time he put his hand up, my man had already took one hand, slid that right guard to the side, came straight in flush, the torque of the weight, the torque, the twist. That's most of the punch came from. He extended the hand all the way out, brought it straight flush, straight to jaw. I ain't seen nobody get hit that hard since the Ali Frazier fight. He made all the sweat in his cabeza, the cerebellum, just bust like a watermelon, just koosh. And then right after that, what I like, he gave him a shoulder lean so he couldn't even recover from that, and then pushed him on down and gave him a McFlurry combo. Loved every second of it. Well deserved. You shouldn't get that cocky with a guy like that. You haven't earned the right to. You're not Anderson Silva, my man. And he got it. And he gave him props afterwards. But
he did. Can you hear me, Mike? Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, fantastic. Man, Mike, I'm going to tell you, like I said, I'm not a,
Give it to him. Give it to him. Technique, the follow through. Oh, man. Perfect. Perfect, man. Whether you're a fan or not, you can appreciate a good. I don't think it could have been any more picture perfect, man. He definitely woke up. He definitely woke up. GOAT? Is there GOAT talk? That was an incredible display of strength, man. Usman, Masvidal, and you know what I read? So I not only caught it live, of course it was trending on Twitter. I went to Twitter, and people were saying, "There's no more excuses. You had ample time to train. You know what this man can do. It was a good fight until you tried to put a little comedy in there. And we didn't seen this thing before. Dropping your guard, leaning forward, playing with this dude. He's a technician, man. He was probably going to get that sooner or later, and a little bit sooner, man, than it was. So T-Cham is not in at the moment. Don't know where he went, or if he's coming back. Probably a little technical difficulty. I know he removed his earpiece and this, that, and the other. So what I'll do is I'm gonna continue to kick it and keep it going. Next topic of discussion: the Yankees. Yes, Yanks. Yes, thank you. Trying to win something, trying to do something, man. Trying to get back, trying to be the Yankees of old. So if you're a Yankee fan, you know what I'm talking about. And I think they won 3 out of 4 in this particular series. So we give it up to them on that. And they just got to continue to play well, man. We've already talked about it, and talked about how the Yankees are, they're getting their payroll together, $200 million payout. So they had some good things going and some not so good things going, man. So they beat Cleveland 3 times out of 4. First game 6-3, we was loving it. Next game would be 5-3, then 2-1, and then they would lose 7-3 against Cleveland. So that's not bad. Not tonight, it's tonight. Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore. The Orioles seem to have the Yankees number, back in the day. As I look back, let's see what they can do, man. Tonight, starting off, first of all, it's going to be at B-More. It's about 7:05 p.m. Don't know if I'll catch it or not. And Garcia is going to be the pitcher starting. And it's a 4-game series. And from what I see, all 4 will be in Baltimore. T, what it is? You good?
I'm good, baby. I'm back.
Okay, so I've slid over to the Yankees and what they've done, winning 3 out of 4. You can expound on that. We ain't too far out the loop, and I just gave some highs and lows, and that's about it.
Well, first of all, happy birthday to Aaron Judge. So today is that young man's birthday, who is probably, I think, if everything continues to go the way that it's going, will probably be the next captain. But that's on a different subject, Mr. Judge. You got to win a World Series first and foremost. Mike, I tell you, I thought it was a big weekend for us to kind of sort of start to kind of stabilize the ship a little bit. We're still not quite there, but the first 2 games, if you look at it, we were down 3-0 in the first inning, and they came back. I think that's a good sign. I think we won 3 out of 4 games without really still hitting the ball like we need to hit it. Still too many outs. But Cole, if you hadn't touched upon this, is worth every dime, Mike, that they're paying him. That's why you have a guy like that, man, who comes in and essentially shuts a team down when your offense is not really on all cylinders, right? And so for them to win 2-1 with Cole in a well-pitched game, that was a good thing. Still, a lot of upside remains for the bats, so we'll see. But all in all, I think we got these. Is it 3 games or 4 games against Baltimore, Mike?
Come on, 4 coming. 4 coming.
4. Mike, I think we can get 3 out of 4 of these.
Let's do it, man. I know a couple of Baltimore Oriole fans. I'll be chiming in, and they've always been a tough opponent, man. It seems like sometimes the Orioles just have the Yankees' number. But if we can come back from 3 down and manage these to squeeze these 3 out of Cleveland, let's see what we can do against Baltimore. And it looks like I've seen that all 4 are in Baltimore. So I think because of COVID, they're limiting the going back and forth. And I understand it. I get it.
Yep.
And happy 29th. I think the brother's 29 years old.
Really?
Yeah, born in 1992.
Okay.
Right around that. Yeah, 29-ish. And just on that note, I mentioned it, man. I used to go to New York all the time, man. 2-3 years out. Then I took a 12-year hiatus. And now it's going on 4 years. But one of the pleasures I had is in 2017 when I took my son to a Yankees game, and we got to see Aaron Judge crack one out the park. Just to look in his face sitting in Yankee Stadium, and with all the hoorah that comes with it.
Yeah,
just a glorious moment, man. And I throw that up there with the Knicks, man. It's that culture, man. It's that Bronx, man.
There we go.
Just traveling by bus from 181st Street, Manhattan, and seeing all that you can see.
So Mike, we get ready to make them hot right now, Mike, because you got the gear on. So before we go into this, Mike, I've been trying to find my hat. I've been trying to find all that, man.
I see you, man. And a Yankee fitted would have killed it with that blazer and that shirt, man. Got to do it like that, yo.
I got to do it like that. And all the Knicks fans and social media, Mike, are coming back. So I got a little surprise for you right now, Mike. Here we go.
As you hear the fans right now.
Yeah. I hear you now. That's good. That's better.
They're cheering on your 31 points, which included a big first half, Julius. And then we saw you orchestrating out of the double team. How would you sum up how this win came to you today?
Aggressive from the start. We didn't defend anybody in the first half. Our defense wasn't great in the first half, and that's what we relied on all year. We were able to open the game up in the second half because we started defending, started locking up, getting stops, getting down in transition, and just making easy plays.
Right now, as RJ Barrett is being interviewed in the arena, and you got so much support from your teammates. One in particular, Derrick Rose. His presence really has been huge, especially to close things out. How do you sum up how he changes the dynamic of this team?
He's special. Honestly, he's special for our team. What he does, how he's able to, run the point guard position. It just seems like he's always making the right play. He makes the game easy for me. And, he's a leader. So, he's been great.
Well, 9 straight wins. I know this crowd is happy. You heard the MVP chants. You keep hearing the MVP chants. How good does it feel right now to be in that Knicks uniform?
It feels amazing. I'm enjoying every second of it. Excited every time I get to step on the court and wear this jersey. So I just try to make the fans proud, try to be there for my teammates and try to get wins most of all. So it's been fun.
Congrats.
Mike, talk to me, baby. Now to you. Talk to me.
Oh, man, let me tell you something, man. The city is buzzing. I know 9 in a row don't seem like much to people, but when you hadn't pulled nothing off like this since 2013, man, the fans is buzzing. Social media is back. Knicks gear is selling, man. I mean, it feels good. And I just read something. I'm going to throw it out there, man. We all know who Charles Oakley is, former Knicks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Charles Oakley said, and I quote, Julius Randle is a better version of Zion Williamson. Just tell you what Charles Oakley said. Everybody wanted Zion to sign, and Oakley said, we got the better version of that young superstar. Better version. Wow. And I just like stuff like that. He can do more. I said last year they didn't have a superstar. Now they got a superstar, and they do. I said they ain't been one since Melo, and before Melo, and Amari Stoudemire and them came, Knicks hadn't had a bona fide superstar. That's all we ever asked for, man. They got to give his dude props. Got to give his dude his props. And the win against Toronto, once again, people counted us out. See, I checked the Bleacher Report, man. I see the win-loss percentage, man. They had the Knicks counted out. Did you see Siakam go for a two-hand dunk and Noel Nerlin said, no, 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 no. You don't love me anymore, and I know it. No, brother, you're not coming in here with that weak sauce. We don't do that like that, man. Love the crowd, backing them up. Let's get it. I will admit tonight will be a challenge. Knicks got Phoenix Suns.
Yes, sir.
Swarm them. I don't know what to tell them, man, but I watched the Phoenix Suns last night against the Nets. I hope the Phoenix Suns are dead dog tired because I don't want to hear nothing. Come on out there, and I want the Knicks to jump all over them. They done had a day's rest.
Yep.
Let's go to work on them, man. Don't let them breathe. Get it in. Swarm them, man. Devin is going to get busy.
Yep.
Chris Paul is going to be floor general. I get all that.
Yep.
If all these boys go to work, Noel Knowles go to work. Opie Toppin hit 3 threes yesterday. Opie Toppin. RJ, let's get in gear. I like his fire, man. Julius, put your show on. I was amazed at his 3-point percentages. Just fading off, lighting people up. Couldn't stop him, man. Got to give it to him, man. I was feeling all his work, man. So let's just hope that the Knicks come in there with that same vigor, that same energy, and it will be 10 in a row.
Yeah.
10, my dude. 10, man. Red hot, yes. I've gotten props on Facebook, too.
The longest streak.
A lot of people saying, yo, Knicks look good. Yo, Knicks are the sleeper. They're back. Not bad. And I get it, and I like it, man. Feels good. Got to feel good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm dusting off all my Knick t-shirts. I'm about to break them out this week. I like what I see, man. Number 4, just maintain that 4. Maintain that 4. And then we would play probably the number 5, correct? If it was like
correct.
That.
That is correct.
Let's do it.
Mike, I tell you,
I feel second roundish.
You did. I agree, Mike. You did it justice. I'm not going to pile on. The only thing I'll say, man, is 21-10 at home, which is huge. And that's how you build the culture we're talking about. Yeah. All right. So just showing some respect because I'm sitting in the chair here.
Put some respect on it.
I just showing a little nod to my man.
Wow, the Celtics done put away some strong teams, and they lose to the QC.
So, the story of this game, Mike, it looked and looks like Charlotte is going to a smaller lineup. They're trying to spark some things and to try to do some different things. So they're going to small ball. But what's an interesting stat I saw was they outscored the Celtics in the paint with a small lineup, 46-36. So I don't know what's up with that. I'm just wondering if the Celtics brought the funk or if they just looked past Charlotte. But they're 30-30, and
nowhere near the Knicks, but we get it. Yep.
Right. But I definitely think this is going to be something I want to talk to you about later on in the week in terms of this whole play-in thing, because you got the Wizards down there, you got the Hornets, you got a couple of teams, man, Toronto, that could cause some interesting Miami, some interesting looks and some things there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. What's your thoughts?
I saw the highlights, man, and listen, when you have 4 guys who drop 20+ points, it's hard to beat that, man. Rozier, Devontae, Graham, Pete, Jay Washington, and Miles Bridges all had 20+ points. Miles Bridges was hitting threes like he was out there, like he was John Stockton. I couldn't believe it.
I know.
Lighten it up, man. Just lighten it up. And the Celtics, they were probably overwhelmed. Miles Bridges blocking shots off the glass. I don't know what happened to the Celtics. I mean, did Tristan Thompson check into another hotel? Because I didn't even see that brother last night. He did not show up. Smart got busy. Kemba with 20. He couldn't do it back to back. Tatum and Brown with 19 and 20 respectively. Both of them brothers capable of 30 plus points, man.
They are.
So just caught the Celtics sleep and took advantage of it, right?
Yeah. Well, good for the Hornets. They get back to 500, and again later on in the week, man, we'll take a look at that kind of bottom part of the call it from 8, 9, 10, 7. Look down there, man, and you'll see it's going to be some interesting teams because you gotta think, man. The Wizards got some talent on that team, so you can't quite sleep in this whole play-in tournament.
Yeah.
So, Mike, the man here, and he is the man. He is on a whole nother level. Return 33 points in 23 minutes. Give me your thoughts on this, my brother, because I watched this game, and it's just like they don't stop anybody unless they really want to. But man, can't anybody stop them? What do you think about that, Mike?
I saw the game last night. KD's my son's favorite player, man. I've been being hazed for years, man. I can't breathe. And for this dude to come back and drop a mere 33 was really ridiculous, man, in the amount of time he did. He was doing running floaters, fadeaways, coming in, banging it on people, man. Yeah. I mean, there's really not much that KD can't do. He was just bringing it, man. He's a monster, man. A demon,
he is.
A gargoyle. The tarantula, man. I mean, you got to give it to him, man. Now the question is, can he take this show all the way to the top with his supporting cast? He's going to get busy, man. There's no way around that, man. He just put on a show, man, and capable of doing more. That's the sad part.
It's crazy. And the whole thing about it is they're managing his minutes. Apparently he came off of the bench. So he's not starting. They're kind of managing it. And it seems like their plan is to try to just help him get his rhythm back. And that's what they're playing for, is to get that rhythm back. What's thinking?
Controlled minutes and get his rhythm back, and he drops a mere 33. That's amazing, man.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he gets props, man. The dude is a baller. He can just flat out play, man. Even Kev, if Kev is mediocre, he's capable of 30, let alone just putting on a show. 28 minutes?
I know.
Wow.
What's your thoughts, Mike? What are you thinking about the Nets, man? How are you feeling about them in terms of just them as a team right now? They lead the conference. They are a game and a half, I believe, above the second place Sixers. Do you like what you're seeing from the Nets?
First of all, I don't like what I see. I am a hater. I'm hating on the Nets. I don't like the big 3, the 5, the 4, any of that stuff, man. But they look real good. But there's a bigger picture than the season. The playoffs going to tell it all, man.
They will.
You get a team, you get about 5 Sexton colonists together and go to a double overtime. That's going to show and prove who's who can last longer. Won't be no restricted minutes, no decompression, no load management. Then you got to bring all your weapons out. And if y'all pulling the same thing that AD and LeBron pulling, just taking turns while somebody rehabs and works out on the low, then so be it. But we'll see, man. Good team, man. Good team, man. I saw Blake Griffin out there getting busy. DeAndre Jordan, who Nick mentioned, should be used, and he is being used. They got a nice crew, man. You can't beat that. Come on, man. Kyrie, Harden, and KD.
If they're on and they want to play and they're focused, it's going to be tough to beat them. It really is. It really is.
Focus. Focus means wear and tear too, and I don't want nobody to get hurt. I want them all at full staff and just see who got what, who can burn the midnight oil. Because these games ain't gonna be easy, man.
No.
You know, one thing my son brought to my attention: everybody steps their game up against the Nets.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what their record is; they play at their highest. Everybody making jump shots. When they played LA, Macklemore hit about 6 threes. They coming for the Nets. Everybody coming. The Nets gonna have to really be like the Warriors from 1979. They got to get back to the house.
Yeah,
y'all got to get back to Brooklyn.
It's gonna be tough. Now, let me get your feedback on this. I was listening to Stephen A. Smith today. He made an interesting comment. He said that he, in his opinion, thinks that if the Knicks continue to win, that Kyrie and Durant will regret not having signed with the Knicks, because basically what he said is the Nets are leading the conference. They got all the talent, but nobody's talking about the Nets at home. They're talking about the Knicks, right? And the flow for the Knicks. So, you agree with that? What do you think about that?
That would be a big regret. And I was trying to put my finger on it. I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Let me say one other thing, Mike. What he was saying is if they don't win a championship this year, they definitely will regret it because of how people are into the Knicks. Go ahead again.
It would definitely have to come to that. I think they would feel bad. But on another note, I'll say this. I heard that the Knicks didn't want to give KD a max contract because he was injured. I'm still upset about that. That's the craziest statement and the craziest reason not to get this dude, because you ain't want to give him the max.
Terrible.
Well, I get it. Sometimes you gotta live with your mistakes, man. And then here comes his homeboys, coming through as well. Yeah. And it hurt, but now it feels good that the Knicks are winning. And I will not only will they regret that, everything you could think of, they're gonna pull out the bag on why this thing didn't happen. And now I will say this: if those 3 dudes was on the Knicks right now, with Julius Randle and Barrett,
you talking dynasty, bro.
Over with. That's all I can say. And I don't want to knock the Nets organization because we rocking hard.
Yeah.
Let's see what it do, man. Stephen A. finally making sense.
Durant
said I like that.
I agree.
It's a Knick town, even if the Nets win the chip.
It is a Knick town, and you kind of have to grow up there to kind of understand that. The pecking order is, and depending on who you talk to, it's the Yankees, the Knicks, the Giants. You can 1 through 3, you can start there, and then everybody else follows. And it's just, that is how it is, and that's how it's always going to be.
We tried to explain this a while back about the culture, man, and everything you just said.
But you got to kind of grow up there, don't you? When you have to kind of grow up in it, Mike.
You got to, because you will never understand. I work with a whole bunch of teenagers, 16 to 18. When I mention I'm a Knicks fan, they literally fall to the floor laughing. They don't get it. Because y'all surrounded by the Hornets and the Hawks, and you might like your LeBrons and I get it. You like LA, you like Utah, you like the Nets.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. The Knicks can be 0-82. You're gonna still see Madison Square stack out.
And I'm looking for my orange and blue right now, Mike. I'm gonna join you soon. I got my jersey. I gotta get my hat. So, Mike,
if the Knicks win tonight, I break out my starter jacket I had when I was 16 tomorrow.
Mike, if the Knicks win tonight, I got about 3 or 4 hats in my shopping list, waiting list. I'm waiting for to put on his head. Trust me.
Jacket's so tight, I might have to go shirtless, man.
All right, Mike. Sixers, man. You're a Sixer fan. They lost.
Embiid, where you at? All the Philly fans.
I need Jason. I need to hear from my Sands, Jason Green here.
I know a lot of Philly fans. I'm gonna highlight them tonight, though. I want that question answered. Most of them will say no.
I said, Jay. I said, Jay, man, how you feeling, man? Oh man, we good. I'm like, okay, all right, man. Ben Simmons got the flu or something, some undisclosed illness.
I noticed that he didn't play the other night. I noticed that him and Embiid. Yeah,
he hasn't played in like it's now 5 games, and Embiid has a bad shoulder, sore shoulder.
And they got the Thunder tonight.
And it's so.
I keep telling y'all. Says he's soft. Said you got to go live with it. I love
you
when
got to, man.
Say, yo,
you got to, man.
Soft.
It's just,
yo,
man, this guy.
You talking about Mr.
Mike,
Softy?
Mike, I've lived in this area for 4 years. I'm telling you, Embiid misses a minimum of 15 games a year. A minimum.
I don't wish hurt on nobody. I don't wish hurt on nobody. And I know Embiid has struggled. He struggled, and I want him back. But this dude, Embiid, ace dog, Julius Randle scored 230 points, 64 rebounds, and 40 assists over his last 7 games. No other player in the history.
This dude is Bernard King-like, bro. I'm telling you.
Hey, he get a pass, man. I went deep into the forgiveness bag. Ace dog, those are hot stats, man.
Those are hot stats.
That Mike, boy working.
Mike, let me say something too, man, about the key to the Knicks, man, and I can't wait to see this game tonight, man, and everything. But if RJ is on his thing, man, RJ had 25 and 12. That's what we need from RJ against Toronto.
Attitude. He got a chip on his shoulder.
But I said this before, and Nick poo-pooed me down. I honestly think that Derrick Rose can make an honest bid for 6th man of the year. Derrick Rose, that was a heck of a trade.
20 points off the bench in the last 3 or 4 games. Come on, but man. Mike, who's averaging 20 as a starter?
But Mike, you know what I like about him again? This is what I like about him again. And close off with this point is that he comes in and controls the game, which is what we need from a point guard, which is what we need.
And they trust him, and he makes Obi look good. I see the respect he get when you're on the court, man.
He brings it out in Obi. He does.
Let me throw something else in there. I think Julius Randle is so glad to be out of LA.
Yep.
Under the shadows of whomever, we won't even go there, that he just couldn't wait to spread his wings and cut loose.
Right. I agree.
All right, Genie Bus. Is it Genie?
Yes, sir.
Genie Bus.
Let's spend some good time here. We got a lot of Laker fans that support the show. So I heard this, man. I said, man, this is interesting. So when I asked to name her top 5 Lakers of all time, she had Kareem, Magic, LeBron, Kobe. This last one, Mike. Phil Jackson.
Well, first of all, they used to kick it.
I know.
So, of course, he's her fave. I can almost see her leaving out Jerry West. I get it. Putting Phil in there, period, is a crime. Period. He was a better Nick. Now, how did you do it? It's a smack in the face. It's a smack in the face to Shaq, and everybody knows it, man. There's no way that should have been allowed. That's right. I'm rocking that Nick hat hard, baby.
Mike,
That's
there's
right.
absolutely no way.
Oh, what's that say? Shaq isn't a true Laker, but neither is LBJ, Phil Jackson. Coming from Orlando after going to the championship and getting swept, he saw the bigger lights, Hollywood, the glam, stars galore. He went for it, and he made some things happen. 3
I don't know who made this comment.
Drug tested. Facebook, put your name in that.
Put your name on that. Mike, let me tell you, man. When I heard, I said, first of all, let's chop this up a minute. What's your thoughts about LBJ being on there, man?
People are excited. Now, I remember when Laker fans said they don't like LeBron James, but since he is a Laker, and then he brought them a championship, so the bias is still leaning to the Lakers. He's a golden child out there, man. He went hard. They beat the odds because nobody saw them winning, and they got busy on it, man. I like his grind. I recently forgave him for not coming to the Knicks. I recently forgave LeBron. Phil must have put it down. Yeah, all the way down. Yes. Yes.
I tell you, man, Keyshawn Johnson made an interesting quote today. He said, hey, LeBron is probably not on the Mount Rushmore of Lakers, but he's close because he set us up for the next 10 years. Because without LeBron, there's no AD, right? Because AD's not coming. So
good recruit, good move.
I could definitely see that. But Phil Jackson?
Yeah, come on now.
I understand. Putting it down. I hear all the comments. But listen.
Maybe she meant Kurt Rambis.
Over Pat Riley, though? Over Pat Riley. And then think about Jerry West.
She deserves all the smoke, man, for that.
Jerry West is the mascot, baby. He's the logo.
Yeah.
There's obviously probably some issues there because my understanding is that he wanted to come back and they wouldn't let him back in the fold. And that's why he took the job with the Clippers. He's with the Clippers. Right? I agree, man. I agree. But man, I'm still, Mike, I'm still salty at Phil for what he did to us, man. I mean, Phil should have just said, look, man, you know what? My heart's not in it. You either coach the team, dude, or don't come back. But man, he jacked us up, bro.
Yeah, doing Melo wrong. Porzingis got steamed at that. He dipped, and just a whole lot went wrong, man. I didn't like that as well. We talking about a grown man giving it his all, which was Melo, and you played him like he was nobody.
And I don't like how he did. I don't like how he did Mike Woodson. In terms, because we talk about the Knicks and that 13-win streak, and that came under Woodson, and all of that. Well, my brother, I always enjoy this part of my day.
Oh, yes.
At the end, and what are some of your parting thoughts, my brother?
Well, let's train to maintain, keep composure. Let's definitely zoom in and focus on the Knicks tonight. And let's see what we can do. And we're gonna move past Genie Bus, man, because Phil Jackson, man, didn't even play for the Lakers, man. He coached them. So to say that he's a favorite Laker, maybe that she slid that category in there because it don't make no sense for that nonsense, man. If you saying that he's your favorite Laker because he got you, those championships, then say it.
Yeah.
But other than that, don't put him in there with players.
Agreed.
That's out of control.
Agreed.
Yeah, we're tuning into the Knicks tonight, and we're gonna see what's what, man. And everybody take care and maintain, man. Mental health week. Take care of your health.
My brother, always a pleasure. I will see you on Wednesday, God willing.
Yes, sir.
And everybody, man, take care of your family. Take care of your folks. Because when they get older, man, they need a different type of engagement. So love on them and love those moments.
Definitely, man. Amen on that.
I am sitting in from Nick. It's your man T Sham. It's my man Mike.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace.